Okay, so I just got alerted to a profit, and so just figured I'd come in and when I saw what just happened, it gave me there's a lot of information here, even though it may not look like it. Let me get rid of this first. So as I said in the morning session, there's a bullish divergence happening here, so I'm interested in taking a counter trend long. However, it the set that I had got stopped out by just a little bit. So I wanted to enter at the 425, and which would make the stop 350, and it just got hit by, let me see here, 350 by two, by like 1.5 points. 1.5 points. Like my stop was at 350, and the low was 348.5. So 31,348.5. My stop was 31,350. So you can see how close that was. It's just been a um, really bad luck on these 50-50 calls right at the border of the stop and spread and all that kind of stuff the past couple of days, this entire week, really. But I didn't let that stop me. I wanted to re-engage, but that's a little bit risky and a little bit of a over trading move. So I waited for a formation that gave me a reason to do so, and that was that this 15-minute candle was a bullish engulfing candle, and that closed right around the 500. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take the 500 to the 750. It in order to make profit on that, it does need to clear this previous high, but this is kind of like it's not even like a real high. Um, because there aren't enough candles like around it to really validate it as like a significant peak. This is just all of this to me is just chop, okay? And it was just chop from the morning, the Globex session down to down all the way to the current present. So and then it was chopping around. I decided I moved my stop to break even, and the next thing I know, I get another alert saying that it hit the next quarter, which confused me, and it just spiked up for profit. Now, what that does is that gives me an interesting set of circumstances based on what I was talking about in the morning session, because now we're right at that pullback. I said before that the pullback to the 750 is right around that 50% retracement area. If you were to draw the Fibonacci sequence, or the Fibonacci tool, the drawings from this high to I think at the time it was like this low, or maybe it was this low. I can't remember. But anyway, this 750 is right around that 50% retracement, which is where I was interested in looking for sells, because the idea that the previous support becomes new resistance. The 50% retracement of the Fibonacci is also one added piece of evidence, adding confluence to the claim. And now, as I'm talking, we just got a doji candle right around this area, and this might push back down. The RSI is not really significantly breaking above 60. If I were to look on the 30 minute, definitely not breaking towards, um, definitely not making a new high above 60. So there is evidence to support a sell right here at the 750. But I can also make the argument that the that because this closed slightly above, right, and there's momentum on the shorter time frame, that if I were to give this a little bit more of a chance, that bullish momentum would continue to build. So it's a little bit too early. I mean, this doji candle is tempting. This next 15-minute candle, if it's a bullish or I should say bearish engulfing, then that might push my bias towards the sell side instead of the buy side. But right now it's pretty close to 50-50. And usually when it's a 50-50, what I've done in the past before is take both, because this prop firm allows you to have um, positions in both directions, essentially to quote unquote like hedge essentially. And I could take a 750 above or below. Definitely one will. What that does is it's a little bit risky and well, it's a little bit aggressive, because one of those positions is guaranteed to lose, but one is not guaranteed to win. So you're guaranteed at least one loss. You might even get two losses. So it's a very aggressive move. I might be tempted to see a sell, to take a sell here very soon, because this candle does look like it wants to be a bearish engulfing candle. It looks like. I don't know. There's still about 10 minutes left before this candle finishes printing. I'm probably not going to stay on that entire time, but if it does, I might take this. I might take a market order. I might take it. I might take the 675 down to the 425 and get the backup quarter that way. I might put a sell. Oh my goodness! Look at what it's doing. As I'm talking about it, I'm not gonna jump in though. I'm gonna let the candle finish printing. I might take a 750. I might put at this point. I might put a limit order at the 750 to take it. Although I think that if I had done that before, if I had preemptively set that, like I said in the morning, because of all the confluence, Fibonacci, etc., it would have gotten stopped out, and I would have needed to have a backup order at the 825 in order to engage this. It would have worked. It would have looked beautiful so far, though. Usually, an easy move up is an easy move down, so this is something that is not surprising to me. This was an area that was interesting, but I didn't engage it because I had just come off of a profit, so I was kind of taking a breather. So it's a little bit. It was a little bit more of a managing self, managing my own account versus managing or executing on a trade. Um, like when an athlete, during the game, in the middle of the game, is kind of conserving energy on a certain play because they're waiting for a bigger opportunity or something like that, and not just going 110% at all times. Some athletes do that, but some athletes don't do that, and some athletes don't do enough of that. Right? They are essentially lazy. Right? So that's a little bit of that kind of load management kind of psychological load management aspect kind of coming into play here, instead of being very aggressive. Like I even said earlier in the morning, I want to see what it does first before I engage at the 750. And right now it's giving me a lot of uncertainty. The candle looked heavy, and maybe now it doesn't look heavy. I don't know. Is this going to be another dirty? We don't know. So, um, one loss, one win for the day. And I'll take that, as I was saying this past week. I'll take that every single time. I'll take a 50% win rate every time, because I won't, if you say that's the best I'll ever do and I'll be consistent with that forever, like I won't even think about trying to increase that percentage, because my reward risk ratio makes that completely worth it. It makes it a complete no-brainer to just win half the time. I wish I would win half the time. My average is a little lower than that. It's closer to like the 30s, but I just need to refine my skill. Um, so that's it for the afternoon session. I'm probably done for the day. If I end up entering something, I'll summarize it and recap it